Our special guest today, and she is the creator of the magnificent MetaMap that you all, those of you who have been in class with me at the temple, have experienced. And Aisha will be her assistant today in coordinating some videos and other things. So since we only have a little bit less than an hour now, Barbara, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. And I'm going to mute myself and let you take over from here, okay?
Well, all right. Thank you. Thank you. Hello there. Thank you, Stephen, for inviting me. Aisha, can I see the class, please? I am so excited to be here.
You should be able to see them right now if you're zoomed in gallery mode.
Okay, can we do gallery so I can say hello to you?
And are you on gallery mode now, Barbara? How do you do gallery mode, Aisha?
At the top right, because I can do it for mine, but I can't do it for anyone else's screen. It's
Sure.
at the top right. There's like a little box with some cubes that says view. And then if you click that, you can click gallery mode.
Yeah, usually my gallery works quite nicely.
Just click that little box on the upper right-hand corner of your screen, and it says gallery view.
That minimize and background and filters, but I don't. Participants, where's our gallery?
If you click that little corner, there's a little cube in the right-hand corner, upper right-hand corner, and you click on that. You see that little cube?
Yeah, I did that.
And does it say, did you click gallery view?
It doesn't give me gallery, it gives me participants. Well, all right. This is why I have two of them, because one, my Zoom has a personality of its very own. So let's see if we can do that again. We go to streaming link, get rid of that. YouTube, more. No.
Barbara, you don't see that little square up in the right-hand corner that says view?
Yeah, I see the one when I hit the little square, there's two things. It says hand chat, meeting, minimize background. Let's see if we can get out of meeting, if I can get a gallery out of that. Normally I have gallery all the time. Select share. Huh.
You don't see the view thing? You've got a little hand on your face. How did that hand come to be on her face? Anybody know?
I think she just clicked the raise hand feature on like participants.
Yeah, I was just going to participants because I couldn't get. Okay. Isn't that strange? I may have to go to the other device.
Okay, you want to do that and
yeah, because for some reason my iPad is not displaying.
Are you in your office?
No, I'm in the living room. So I'll go back to the office to get on my computer because if it will do that. I've been having audio problems with my computer. Technology, impermanence, hopeful desires for an idea of doing a Zoom call. And I didn't even think to rehearse it because I've been doing Zoom all along. So here she is. Close.
So how's everybody doing? Everybody had a good week while we're waiting for Barbara? When are they gonna have any of you, or you're gonna be able to get your vaccines pretty soon, everybody over 16, right? Have Aisha and Sanduni?
Yeah, I got my appointment for my first dose on Tuesday.
Okay. Sanduni, how about you?
I want to. It's kind of a discussion for the family first.
Oh, well, you got to get it.
Well, I didn't get mine.
Kai, how about you? You're 16, right?
No, I'm still 15.
15. Oh boy. Okay, Barbara, you're in the other room now?
Uh-huh.
Oh, you're not. Okay, how are we doing on our tech thing?
I was able to see those lovely people while they were talking. Allow. Isn't this interesting?
So, okay. Well, why don't we just forget it and just do the class without being able to see any of us? Because we're already 10 minutes into it.
Okay, well, so let me, can we put up my picture alongside the map?
Yeah, I'll share the meta map right now.
Okay,
Did everybody print out the map as I gave in the instruction? You all have it in front of you?
well, they have it right there.
There we go. Can you guys see it?
There you go. Thank you.
Okay.
First of all, let me just share with you the history of the map, which was it started as a game. I was invited to do a talk many years ago on this for these neuroscientists that I was working with, and they asked if I would do a presentation on the 3 levels of intelligence that I had been discussing with them. And so I put it together in this is the final version of the map, with the idea that being able to teach or share some information in a way that was playful and fun, and also extremely difficult for a lot of people to grasp, has always been my form of teaching. I've always wanted to be able to teach in a way that is entertaining, easy to remember, but also imparting some pretty interesting information. So from the Buddhist perspective, all of this works together very nicely with the intelligence of the mind being seen as one aspect, and the intelligence of the heart being another aspect of intelligence, and then the energetic level or the karmic level or the ancient memory, muscle memory being another part. So that's how it came about, and the idea of being able to chart out each aspect of that mind heart energetic intelligence. Intelligence meaning the way you take in information and express information. Now, there's no way I can see you guys, I guess. So is that all familiar material to everybody that's listening? Is that all familiar, Aisha?
We did have a class that Aisha and Sanduni and Thasuni presented a couple of months ago, and they talked about the map, but it was just very cursory, and
Okay.
only those three girls and Nderunu have actually seen the map and walked on it. So you've got a new audience for the most part.
Okay. So when we look at the map, the idea of being able to have free will and to have compassion. So these two elements are the foundation of all healing, whether it's mental, spiritual, or physical. If you do not have compassion and you don't exercise your free will in a wholesome, compassionate way, chances are you're not going to be able to heal. And so this map helps you access that compassion using the energy for your intention to do so. So, Aisha, why don't we show that first introduction
The
to
video.
the
Okay.
video.
I'll play it right now and let me know if you can hear the sound. If not, I can do it again.
Can I speak over it?
Yeah. Can you hear it though, the sound?
No.
No. Steven, could you hear it? You're on mute, Steven.
I think you have the video on pause. Click the play.
Oh,
And
right. Sorry.
Hello, and welcome to Meta for All, Conflict Resolved. The foundation of Meta is that compassionate communication is the foundation of all wellness and has healing properties for all circumstances, medical, physical, spiritual. So with that thought in mind, we want to look at what is communication and how we express our own communication inside ourselves, to ourselves, intrapersonally and interpersonally. The first thing we want to be sensitive to is that the only thing that we have absolute dominion over in our life is our intention. There are too many other variables that come along after we have our intention that can take us away from our goals.
Good.
Let's look at the board and explore these three layers of intelligence. Intelligence is how we take in information, process information, and express information. There's mind intelligence, which is cognition, how we take in ideas, thoughts, and understandings, and the rules that guide our life. The second layer of intelligence is the heart. The heart is that part of us that gives us our humanity. It allows us to believe and have hope and feel sorrow and despair. It's important to know that things that go on in the heart have their own energy field, and it can actually be measured. The energy from the heart is much greater than the energy from the mind. So when you say you're in someone's vibe, or you get their vibe, their energy field, what you're talking about usually is heart energy. The last area of intelligence is energy itself. And this is that magical place before language. It's imagination. It's all of the things that you know intuitively that give you courage and commitment that really there's no words for. But this commitment that comes from here is what drives this field of performance.
Can we have pause and ask?
This side of the
Yeah.
Can we pause for a second?
Mhm.
Yeah, any questions about what's going on? Do you understand that that's how the dynamics are beginning to shape up? Have you all experienced, or can you think about having experienced the concept of mind intelligence, which is kind of what we're doing right now, right? We're taking in cognitive data. I don't know how you feel about that data. If it feels weird or interesting or boring, I don't know. I know how much energy I have for it, but I don't know if you guys are just kind of letting that energy sway back and forth. Okay, let's go to the next one. Thanks.
Is absence of fear. This side of the board is fear-driven. So we're going to move across the board and get acquainted with some of the 15 squares on the board, because as you learn to
Can we
appreciate.
stop, pause for a second?
Yep.
Okay. On the map, we would call that attraction and aversion. Okay. We are attracted to our sense of freedom. And sometimes that's scary. Also, freedom is, oh, I'm out there all by myself. Who's going to help me out? Oh, my goodness gracious. Oh, I don't want to go. I want to stay where I'm familiar. Okay, so it's not black or white. The same thing with the rules, with the fear. If I'm a little fearful, but I know the rules, I'm kind of comfortable with that. I know my dad's going to yell at me if I'm home coming late, but I also know that fear represents a kind of caring. So there's fear of being hurt and lost, and there's the fear of not getting what we think we want, but also getting something else we may want. So you see how I want you to embrace the idea now that if you can wrap your head around it, neither side of the board is good or bad. But like I say, in Buddhist terms, we would think of it, oh, my first thing is attraction. I'm attracted to my ideas and my beliefs. And I have aversion to the other side. So just, okay, carry on, madam. You're in charge. Thank you very much.
There, you will have a more extensive palette of choices. I have an idea. The mind is freed up. I'll think about it differently. You know that your idea is actually working, or you're having a new thought when you actually think about something differently. Understanding. I understand I have an idea. I understand I'm thinking about it differently. But I also understand that it may not be possible because I'm coming into the row of doubt or caution. And I realize that my new idea may break the rules. So while we're here, let's examine what is conflict. Conflict is 4 degrees of separation. I have an idea that breaks the rules. Now, as I stay stuck in this place that I have this idea and it breaks the rules, there's a great deal of tension. For instance, I have an idea that I should get a raise because I did an extra project on this job. But the rules of the company say that you can't have a raise unless you've worked for a minimum of a year. Conflict. If we stay there and it's never discussed, perhaps there will be an excessive amount of tension. 2 degrees of separation. If the boss comes to me and says, I understand you did a great job and I really appreciate it, but I just don't feel that I can break the rules. It doesn't seem possible that we can do that because of the other employees. Well, at least you'll feel like you're heard. But what if he then says, but let's think about it differently? What if we set it up on a bonus situation so that perhaps you won't get a raise, but we can identify the fact that there is a bonus possibility in the offing due to your extra effort? Simple and direct.
Can we stop?
We have,
Okay.
Okay. So the notion, can anybody apply that notion of having had an idea about wanting something and it being in conflict? Have you ever wanted to go with your friends and you know that your parents don't approve? Have you ever had wanting to go someplace or do something that your friends don't want to do, but you want to do? How have you worked that out? Asha?
I haven't, I mean, I feel like that's happened a lot. I've had ideas that I wanted to go out with my friends, and my parents said no because, like, I'm talking about right now. So, like, because it's not as safe as it was, I don't know, a couple years ago. So they try to keep me at home rather than outside. And then, so we were at a conflict, and then I said, maybe, and my parents said, maybe we can think about it differently. Maybe you don't have to physically go out with your friends. You can try to FaceTime or Zoom with them. So we went like that. So, and then we came to the resolution that it's a safer way for me to still hang out and talk with my friends while being in the safety of my own home. So that's one of my examples.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm glad that your parents were the ones that were able to think about it differently. Sometimes the kids have to be the ones that lead the charge. But how did you feel about their level of compassion, of understanding that you really want? Because you see, I'm hearing they stepped into the heart zone of understanding and compassion, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I understood it because, like, they're like my parents and they want me to be happy and safe. So I understood where they were coming from in the fact that they didn't want me to go outside, considering that I haven't even gotten my vaccine yet. So it's still not safe. So I understood the reason why they said no. And then I'm trying to figure out a word, but like, I understood basically like why they said no and why I should stay at home. So.
Oh, say. So, but the thing is, what I'm hearing is that you also heard their heart. You didn't just hear them being mean and strict and just matter of fact. They didn't come at you and just say, no, you can't do it. You see, they did what we would ask them to do with the map, which is to say, I understand.
Mm-hmm.
I have passion for you. Let's find a way of you being able to do what you want to do in a way that for now, impermanence, for now, it will be safe because soon you'll be able to see your friends in the regular way.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, that's a really good example. Let's go ahead, and since we're with the adults instead of the kids, but that's okay. How old is the youngest person in this group today?
Arnab, how old are you?
The youngest one.
I think he's the youngest one. I'm not sure though. Arnab, how old are you?
I am only 10.
10.
Well, Arnab, you get to pretend to be 15 today, okay?
Okay.
Because we're not going to, we're not showing you we have two videos. One is for young people and one is for adults. And that we've got the adult one on. So the examples are going to be pretty grown up. How did you feel about that last example? Could you relate to not having your way and having to make a decision?
So one time, so in COVID, you don't. So some kids may say like, they don't want to take the vaccine. They think they just want COVID to be over, but they don't have a choice. That's the only way.
Yeah. So what can we do? Can I see his beautiful face, please? There you are. You can't see me yet, but you tell me now, how can we help those kids who think, I don't want to take the vaccine, I don't want a needle in my arm? What can we do? If we look at the map.
Do is just focus on the future, think about the present, and just wait for our turn, and also just take the vaccine.
Okay.
No other.
So you're asking them to be really grown up and just take the vaccine, right? Okay, so I want you to do is look at the map and see if we can, do you think we can understand how they feel? Can you understand how they might be afraid?
Yeah, I understand. Last time I took a flu shot. I didn't want to take it, but I didn't have much of a choice. And I heard there's another vaccine which is going to be a lot painful than the COVID one.
Oh.
After
Well, can we do one at a time, please? Just one vaccine at a time is enough. So you can say to that person, boy, I really understand, because I didn't want to take the flu shot. I was scared. Can you say that to somebody that was resistant?
Yeah, I could do that.
Could you do that?
But I took it anyway because I didn't have a choice. I thought I didn't even have a choice. I'm gonna have COVID if I don't take the choice. Maybe flu and COVID together.
Right. So for you didn't feel like you have a choice. But if this person thinks they have a choice, can we understand that they have some fear around that, don't they?
Wait, what did you say again? I didn't hear the last 3 words.
Do you think that they may have some fear around taking the shot?
It may really, it hurts a lot. Last time I took the shot, it just hurt a lot.
Mm-hmm. Do you think, is that what you think they're afraid of? Is getting the vaccine itself? Or what do you think
they're also afraid of the hurt. So after they take the vaccine, it's gonna stay on them for a long time. When I took a flu vaccine, vaccine stayed on me for 2 days. So.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe if they talked to somebody who had the shot and said, oh my goodness, it really didn't hurt that much. They used this little tiny needle and I didn't feel hardly anything. Would that help them, do you think?
Yeah, but then there's another thing.
What's that?
I can totally understand that. Also, it even came back to me like 1 month after. I could totally understand how would they feel after the shot.
Hey, excuse me one second. I hate to interrupt, but we only have 25 minutes left. So you may want to go ahead and move forward on the presentation there, Barbara.
Okay, we'll just finish up with our young friend here, okay? So, all right, so thank you for, may I see him again?
Right here, my video's on.
Your video's
I
gone.
can I can even
There you-
see you.
You can't even see me?
No, we can see you, Barbara.
Okay, then what I'd like to do is say thank you. And I'm glad that you're strong and that you're able to have sympathy for your friends and maybe just give them that you, when they resist, you can just say, I understand. Could you do that?
At the end, I didn't even worry about it. It healed on 2 months, no, 2 days, but came back. Except it didn't hurt that much.
There you go. Thank you so much. Let's go back to the video. Thanks. Thank you so much for your help here.
Conflict resolved by starting with 4 degrees of separation, getting down to 2, and then getting down to 1. That's the flow of the board. Heart, I believe, wide open. Happy as can be. I believe in Christmas. I believe in Santa Claus. I believe in breakfast with champagne. Trusting the act of the heart moving forward. The centerpiece of the heart is compassion. It's solid. It trusts and it can feel vulnerable as the heart starts to close up with vulnerability. And then we get into fear and the heart closes and says, I will not be hurt again. I'm going to disconnect emotionally and isolate. Now that doesn't sound like much compassion or metta, but the fact of the matter is we all have been betrayed and we all need to come to a place where we can isolate, hold ourselves together, be safe before we return to the world and attempt to understand how we got there, have compassion for suffering, and then redefine how we're going to move on. So it's important at this point of what we've learned here is that each square has its own value. None is greater, none is less. They all have value, they're all powerful, and we mustn't linger too long on any one of the extremes because they can cause us to have more suffering. Energy.
May we stop there?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's be clear on the difference between intelligence of the heart and intelligence of the mind. The intelligence of the mind is something that we have as a shared understanding. It is concrete, it's literal. We walk into a room and we see a white couch. You see a white couch, I see a white couch. We all see a white couch, and we can agree that it is a couch and it is white. That's mind intelligence. It's processing concrete data. Now, what we do with that data intellectually is one thing, but now let's take it down to the heart. I walk into the room, the living room, and I see a white couch. And I think, oh my God, I have a dog. He'd jump on that couch and he'd ruin it in 2 minutes. I could never have a white couch. You look at the white couch and you say, oh, it is so beautiful. I love that white couch. I want to have a couch like that. And someone else looks at it and goes, it's made of leather. It's animal hide. I could never sit on a couch that was made of animal hide. So there we have agreed upon mind intelligence. That is, we all saw a white leather couch. And we have 3 distinct, different emotional intelligent responses. Okay? You get that? Since you're the only one whose name I know, you're gonna have to help me out. Can you think of a time and a place where you went somewhere and you and your friends saw something or heard something?
Yeah.
Or smelled something?
Yeah.
And you agreed on that, but very different reactions.
Yeah. Well, one time I went to my friend's house and they had carpet flooring. So me and my mom were there, and then like immediately my mom was like, "Oh, that must be nice in the winter." And then I was like, "We can never have carpet because we have 2 dogs and they would like ruin it in like 5 minutes because they're big, fluffy dogs." So like we looked at the same thing, we just thought completely different things. So similar to
Right.
the one that you showed us too.
Okay. Perfect. Because what you see, if you weren't paying attention and it was something a little more important, and your mom was really, really attached to, I believe our house would be so much better if we had carpet. We'll have to get rid of the dogs. You see, I mean, it could really get crazy, couldn't it?
Yeah.
So that's what if the attachments are so deep in one space, it can contaminate everything, as opposed to, it's a beautiful carpet. I'd love to be able to have carpet. Reality is I've got big dogs and it's not going to work out.
Yeah.
We are complex, and this is a perfect example. Thank you. Of showing how complex we are and why we have to be gentle and kind to one another. Had you been not you and you'd been somebody else, and your mom said, "Oh, I love this carpet. It would be so lovely to have this carpet in our house in the winter." Had you been a nasty little stinker, you could have snapped at her and said, "Oh, don't be stupid, Mom. We have to." You see how easy it is to be unkind?
Yeah.
And that's why we're so fortunate that we have the Dharma and right speech, and we understand the pause. When something happens that smacks at us, we need to take a pause and go, "Oh, let's let this see what's really going on."
Yeah.
So that was a perfect example. Thank you so much. Sorry to put you on the spot, my dear, but that's the world of Zoom. Okay, let's go on to energy. Thanks.
Sky's the limit. I can do anything when I'm in this zone of energy where I'm unfettered and open. I know it because the action is time stops. Time stops. The centerpiece of energy is commitment. The degree of commitment that I have towards any intention determines the amount of energy that's going to go into it. Defensiveness comes from doubt, and I become a warrior when I become doubtful in my primal energy space. And when I'm truly frightened, I will have no regard to consequences. This is a very serious place because it can cause a great deal of suffering if it's left unmanaged and if we pretend that it doesn't exist. I would like to address some of the rules.
Let's talk about that for just a second.
Okay.
Energy. In Buddhist language, we would call that level of the map the karma, pre-conscious, deep memories. These are things that bubble up. We can access them through meditation. When we think of when time stops, we can think of being really happy and joyful. We can think of, again, if you're having a nice meditation, you may find that you thought it was 2 minutes and it was 20 minutes. Being with your friends. Have you ever been at your friend's house and just, you said you were going to be home at 7 and suddenly it was 7:30? Yeah. So, I mean, we understand when time stops at that. The notion of intention in that center section is the energy. So how committed you are determines everything. So if going back to you and your mom and the rug and the dogs, had her commitment been so great that she really wanted that carpet, and it took the energy away from the rest of the family, that could have been a source of conflict. So since the energy was simply an observation, so we want to be able to have our energy under control. We want it to be tamed. We want to think about things, and this is called right view. When you have right view, you then can have a healthy focus, which is the energy. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Tell me if,
Yeah.
okay. All right, let's go to the next one. Thanks.
Okay.
Sites, meta, and skills. One is that when you're on the board, there is no shame, there is no blame, and there is no guilt. So this is an island of freedom where you can be in touch with whatever it is that you like to express. And the other important element is that you never stand alone. When you go into conflict, it's very important that you have a sense of having someone be with you. And it's a good practice to be able to actually have someone be with you when you're doing a presentation or have a conflict. If not, bring them in part. It's very important. We have 3 elements that we want to deal with, and one is intention, standing in your integrity, and impermanence.
Let's go back.
Those
for
are just 4
What was
let's, yeah, let's just deal with in adolescence, it is the the grounding field of getting ready for the big outside world. And one of the things that's really important is as you're beginning to leave your families and step into a little more free environment, how we do that skillfully is such a challenge, because you do have, the notion is that you're going to have mistakes, you're going to make errors. But that said, you also are going to have great success. And having noble friendships is so important. We talk about this in the Buddhist practice. When Ananda said, the Buddha was talking to him and he goes, well, it's important to have noble friends. And the Buddha said, no, it's not a little bit important. It's the most important thing. Why do you think he said that? Why do you think the Buddha said it's the most important thing to have noble friendships?
I think that having friendships is important because it allows you to share your knowledge and share your experience in your life with other people. And having friends is always good because they can also do the same to you and help you become a better person.
Absolutely. And that's why, on the one of the rules or one of the equations is never stand alone, means never being afraid. So having noble friends as you go into challenging circumstances, whether it's school, whether it's work, whether it's dating, whether it's leaving home, whether it's getting a driver's license, it doesn't matter, because there's always going to be challenge, is to have those noble friendships. I'm sorry, I don't know your name. Can you tell me your name?
My name is Deldanu.
W. Thank you so much. You were so brilliant and so articulate on that, because the wisdom and but the thing is that you brought up is the comfort of noble friends. You know, it's fun to have wild and crazy friends. I know it. I know it. I had a lot of them, but there's can be scary and they can be exciting. But when it comes down to the way we live our life, noble friends, people who share in your values, who can support you when things are tough. Excellent. Excellent. Okay. Thank you for that. How old are you, wise man?
I'm 14.
14. Who's your teacher?
Mr. Steven.
See, you've got yourself a noble friendship in your teacher. There you go. All right. Let's carry on. Thank you so much.
With meta, and that we have compassion for our frustration, for ourselves or for others in that process, and that we're not so attached to the outcome that we do lose our integrity and we compromise ourselves. So with that said, success in meta doesn't mean that you necessarily get what you want or your goal is achieved immediately. It's success by approximation. The very fact that we engage in dialogue, that we move and listen, deep listening, listen not only with our ears to tone and body posture, we listen with our eyes where we see the expressions. So with that, success by approximation, if we finish an interaction and we're better off than we started, that's pause for celebration, because the next time I see you, I trust that we'll be able to continue in our dialogue. I may still feel vulnerable about my program or my idea that I want you to participate in, but I do think that it's possible that we can come and think about things differently together. And I'm committed to staying in my integrity in our friendship. That's the core issue on what is success in meta. It is staying in the process. It's not giving up. That you do have a sense of understanding, that you do have some degree of compassion, and you have a sense of the degree of commitment that you have and the other person has to that project, element, conflict, whatever it may be. And in addition, I would just like to give you a little bit of language that reoccurs with meta. One is equations, intention, integrity, and permanence, plus compassion, minus attachment to outcome equals true happiness. The other one we have is gratitude.
Okay.
We'll just do this real quickly. Have you guys gone over the equations in class yet?
I don't think so.
No, we never have, Barbara.
Okay. Okay, well then we'll just quickly introduce them as a concept that you guys might in the future want to do, to include in the meta process. So, okay, carry on. Thank you. Isa?
Yep.
The other one we have is gratitude over greed equals well-being. So if you're grateful and your gratitude quotient is 70 and your greed is 30, you're going to have a pretty good quality of life. And by greed, we mean feeling inadequate, envy, jealousy, hatred, any times being in deficit that causes you to be hungry for more. That's a little bit greedy. Because if you look upon your gratitude and you see that in fact your gratitude quotient is pretty high, you will be able to manage those deficits. Everybody has deficits. We all have deficits. So keep the gratitude over greed meter in line. And for those in the business world, kindness is cost effective. However, kindness is cost effective in friendships, raising children. The more kindness that we use, the more meta we have, the more effective and efficient our communication and relationships are. And remember,
Okay, can you stop it?
Yeah, I paused it.
Okay. I'm gonna, you guys, these equations are on the back of the map, and they really help language the map. And the notion is that gratitude over greed is exactly what the Buddha taught, right? Greed is avarice. Greed is attachment. Greed is wanting more in a unwholesome way. There's nothing wrong with wanting to improve, as long as it doesn't get so aggressive that it makes you sick. You see, again, it's that middle way. And so I'm going to leave it there. Actually, do we have questions or comments that you would like to have about what we've done today? And do you want the idea of the equation of gratitude over greed before I leave?
I think it would be great if we could go over the equation just a little bit more, just because it's a new topic for all of us.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, let me go back to it. Trying to find, I think it was,
There it is.
Here we go.
patience, intention, integrity, and permanence, plus compassion, minus attachment to outcome equals true happiness.
so if you could just explain that, just because it's like a new topic for us, I think that'll be
Right. Okay, this is the foundation of the meta map, which is understanding your intention. So it's intention to the third power, plus you have an intention, but you've got to have compassion. But you do have to have minus attachment to outcome. So if you have an intention, but you have too much of an attachment to outcome, you're not going to have happiness. If you have your intention, your compassion, and no attachment to outcome, you'll be happy. For example, you want to get good grades. Your intention is to do really well, but it's biochemistry 3 and it's really, really hard. If you have compassion for yourself and you go, I'm doing the best I can, and you get a C+, you will be happy. But if you have the intention of getting an A and you're attached to that intention and you have no compassion, that C+ is going to be horrible, isn't it? So that's what we're talking about. This is this is where the meta map comes in. It's really allowing for our complexity, having right view, seeing what's real. My intention is to do well in school. I have compassion. I'm not a math genius. Advanced biochemistry is really, really hard for me, not for the guy over there who gets straight A's in it. So I'm going to do the best I can, and I will be Knowing that, I will be happy with my results. The next one, if you bring it up, is success by approximation. Gratitude over greed. I think we talked about that, didn't we? Gratitude over greed. If your gratitude is greater than your greed, you will have well-being. You can be, and we have stories all over of the richest people in the world who have everything they think they want, but they're totally ungrateful. What is their quality of life?
Not very good.
Exactly. But if you're grateful for what you have and you're continuing to be on the path of doing the best you can, you'll have a pretty darn good life. You'll have well-being. Okay, let's go to the next one.
I think it was just those two, wasn't it? The two.
No,
It was success by approximation was the third one.
Oh,
you screwed it up.
was
It's
it after?
after this, Aisha, I believe it was. the next.
Okay.
It-
Oh, sorry. There it is.
Okay, kindness is cost effective. That's pretty self-explanatory. If you want to do well in the world, be kind. Be kind. You know, it's the old adage. You know, the Dalai Lama, they say, what is your religion? He says, my religion is kindness. And he's a pretty successful guy. But if you walk into a room at school or work and you smile and say hello and you wait for your turn and you get your work done on time and you're respectful, you will get ahead. You will not only get ahead socially, you'll get ahead emotionally, and at the end of the day, you will probably get ahead physically. So kindness is cost effective. We do a whole seminar on that for the work people. Let's go to the next one.
Okay. Do you remember if it was before or after?
It was success by approximation, and I think Barbara covered that one pretty thoroughly. I think we're good on that one.
Okay.
Barbara, can we come back to the full screen now, since we're just about out of time?
Yeah, please.
Okay, I'm really, really grateful to Barbara for coming and sharing this with us, and I hope that she will come and join us again. There were other videos and there were other concepts and other practices on the map that I know she was intending to do, but 1 hour is really a very short time to cover everything. Barbara is a clinical psychologist, and she lives in Laguna Beach, and she is probably the most brilliant person I've ever known, and happy to call her friend for many years. And does anybody have any questions that they would like to ask her before we sign off? Deodanu, how about you? I know you love the map, and you've wanted to explore more on it. Did you learn anything more today that it is useful?
Yeah, I learned about the equations, which are very helpful to understand and know about, especially success by approximation. I think a lot of times we compare ourselves to other people when really the only person that we should be comparing ourselves to is ourselves, because
Absolutely.
what other people do, it doesn't matter in our life. What matters is what we accomplish. So yeah, thank you.
One comment. That's absolutely true. But the other thing is we do want to have, this goes back to noble friendships. You want to surround yourself with people who are brilliant as well. And brilliant may mean that they have more kindness and more compassion than you, or that they are smarter in trigonometry. But you want to populate yourself with people that are role models for you. Not that you want to emulate them, but that they challenge you to do better. That's just good friendships. We challenge each other to be a little bit better, and we help each other to get there. So I say thank you and I bless you all. And I'm so glad to have met you. I'm sorry I didn't get to see everybody's beautiful face in person, but another time. Thank
Okay, does
you.
anybody have any questions that they have for Barbara or for me or for any of us? Any other comments? How about you, Kai? What did you get out of today?
It was nice to like learn about it so in depth because it was really interesting to figure out how you can map like it all and then use those equations to figure out things. So
When we can go back to the temple in the meditation hall, we'll do some more. And I'm sure Barbara would maybe she would consent to joining us some Sunday.
I would
And
love that. I would
yeah,
love
we
that.
will do that.
Post-COVID.
Yes. So listen, thank you all for joining us, Aisha, and thank you for your great job as an assistant. Really, really appreciate it. And Barbara was so thrilled to meet you yesterday. She called me last night and said how much she enjoyed it. So thank you very much. And I will see you all again soon. Okay. And Bhante Piyananda called me before class and he said he really wanted to watch, but it was 2:30 in the morning there and he didn't think he would be able to do that. So he will see it tomorrow on YouTube. And really appreciate your participation and we'll see you again. Take care. Thanks again.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Bye, Stephen.